Order of business.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Councilman Henry?
Yes.
Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Monti still absent. Councilman Fidel?
Yes.
Councilman Jordan?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
I'd ask for an approval of the minutes. I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes of July 15th, regular and closed.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Henry?
Yes.
Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Fidel?
Yes.
Councilman Jordan?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have an ordinance scheduled for adoption and public hearing. Ordinance 1499, 2013, entitled Ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, providing for improvements to the bulkhead of the Edgewater Marina in and for the Borough of Edgewater and appropriating $125,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $118,750 in bonds or notes of the Borough of Edgewater to finance the same. We've been through this before. I believe all this will be replaced. It's FEMA money we're expecting, so anybody have any questions? At this time, I'd open the meeting to the public on 1499 only. Anyone wish to be heard? Seeing none, I'll close the open portion on 1499. Do I have an introduction?
I'll introduce it.
Second? Roll call.
Whereas an ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, providing for improvements to the bulkhead at the Edgewater Marina in and for the Borough of Edgewater and appropriating $125,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $118,750 in bonds and notes of the Borough of Edgewater to finance the same is hereby adopted. Councilman Henwood?
Yes.
Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Fidel?
Yes.
Councilman Jordan?
Yes.
And Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Communications petition.
Yes, Mayor. A letter from the Port Authority regarding Phase 2 of the repair of the George Washington Bridge. And basically, Phase 2 of the project is to rehabilitate the roadway of the upper deck. Will begin or may have already started. This project will require closing up to 3 lanes of the roadway on the upper level overnight, alternating between westbound and eastbound direction with periodic traffic calls managed by the Port Authority Police Department. The anticipated completion date of this project, weather permitting, will be by the end of 2013 and will save the Port Authority approximately $47 million. More information about the project can be found by calling the Government Relations Office at 212-435-6930 or by visiting their website at http://banyj.gov/bridges-tunnels/gwb-deck-steel-rehab.html. And next, we received a letter from the Bergen County Executive informing us that our 2013 Community Development Block Grant Fund has been approved for the Underwood Avenue Improvement Valley Place to Hilliard Avenue in the amount of $100,000. And the final communication I have is from Whole Foods. Basically, they are requesting 30 permit parking spaces in the borough's public parking lot, which is located across from 916 River Road. The parking lot, there is a parking lot for Whole Foods Market is at full capacity during their busiest hours of the weekdays and for most of their regular business hours on the weekends, starting in September with their current growth projected forward. I did just a quick calculation. There's 80 spaces now, 18 of them are parking spaces, which leaves 62. There's one handicap parking, so that's 61 spaces. We allocate about 5 that volunteer first aid squad, which will leave 56 spots, and there's 12 spots for 6 buses. Each bus that we have takes up 2 spots, and the borough DPW will be using more, so that's about 44 spots. Minus the 30 requested spots, we would have about 14 left. There is metered parking there. I don't know if they just want to pay. I mean,
Well, Barb, is that program viable these days there and across the street? Or are we collecting revenues?
Barbara handles it, but it's.
Barb, are we collecting revenues?
For the rental spots.
oh, the rental.
No, I'm talking about
he's
the
talking
meter,
about
the
metered
meter.
parking, and
I'm like, in other words, if they just start using those spots, are we really going to cite it at this point?
well, I mean, they could use the spots anyone can use the spots, but to
Without putting a meter, say, are we
Well, currently,
issuing tickets?
yes, currently the meter is broken as a result
Well, I
of
mean-
flooding. We ordered for a replacement. It's gonna take some time before the meter gets reinstalled.
I don't know if you would just want to let whomever park there, and anyone can park there, who's, you know.
Well, they gotta pay a meter.
Well, yeah, once the meter machine's fixed, they can
4 hours.
They can
4 hour limit.
30 spots, it's a lot of spots, you're leaving yourself, I'm pretty sure.
They should be happy with it. They're so successful.
If they have, if they're all I'm sorry.
30 spaces.
It's either $40 per month, however they want to do it, or $400 a year per spot. But remember now, you have other businesses, and you also, I have 2 election districts across the street, so definitely.
Might be cutting it close.
Yeah, but that's your call,
Well, they
Rather
can
than just be a meter.
use the meter parking.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
How much is the meter there?
I say if you can shop at Whole Foods and pay those prices.
It's reasonable, Dave. I think it was like $2 for the full 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check.
Yeah.
Maybe they could do a refund voucher program if they bring a meter and they can get it off their bill or something. They can be creative.
And potentially look at increasing the meter, like you
I
said.
think we should.
If they're gonna eat up so many spots, it could be a good,
Mr. Mayor, it's okay.
We're not cold, but we'll be, we give tickets to $3. For the nightclubs.
They know you're parking there before you park there.
all right, go over anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, we have ordinance 1500, 2013, scheduled for introduction. An ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending ordinance number 1495, 2013, entitled Fixing the Salaries and Compensation for Certain Officers, Department Heads, and White-Collar Employees, both full and part-time, beginning January 1st, 2012 through December 31st, 2013. To amend the salary of a certain department head beginning September 1st, 2012 through December 31st, 2013. This ordinance amends the police chief's salary to reflect the 8% differential between chief and captain. We had the chief in that closed session for the last meeting, and we discussed this. Is there any further discussion?
Well, other than the fact that I think he was very fair, I think it's the right thing to do.
Any other discussion? Can I have an introduction?
So,
Second. Roll call.
Whereas an ordinance of the Borough of Edgewater, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amends an ordinance 1495 entitled Fixing the Salaries and Compensation for Certain Office Department Head White-Collar Employees, both full and part-time, beginning January 1st, 2012 through December 31st, 2013. To amend the salary of certain department head beginning September 1, 2012 through December 31st, 2013 is introduced and passes first reading. It shall be considered for public hearing on September 16, 2013 at 7 p.m. at this building, 55 River Road,
Yes.
Councilman Doran.
Yes.
Councilman Mandel.
Yes.
Councilman Jordan.
Yes.
And Councilman Bartelli.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Councilman Henwood, committee/.
Yes, real quick, Mr. Mayor, the new 2 policemen, we're up to 28 staff now with regard to the police department. The 2 new hires are finishing their training, they're doing quite well. The new special officers on duty, real glad to hear about National Night Out, and the chief's going to lead that effort, and that's important, that's it.
Councilman Doran.
No, Mr. Mayor.
I'll step in for Councilman Monty. I'll just say the Edgewater camp is pretty much wrapping up, and for another year, they did an incredible job.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know too many parents who weren't pleased. So. Councilman, Councilman Jordan.
Yes. Building Department monthly report for July. Building permits issued 24, plumbing permits issued 27, electrical permits issued 33, fire permits issued 21, dumpster permits issued 1, UCC inspections performed 115, housing inspections performed 11, business COs issued 2, and CCOs issued 100. For a total fees collected of $41,988.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Moving forward, we have resolutions 2013-191 through 2013-204. Do we have any questions in regards to the resolutions?
Mr. Mayor, I just would like to make a point with regard to 2013-202, the endorsement for the Unilever affordable housing. Just to Mary Hogan's concern, and I agree, let's make sure we get it right with regard to the increase, that we have the proper amount for affordable with the new approvals. So let's get that right.
I do believe that was mentioned by Catherine Gregory when she was here at the last meeting, so it's just a matter of coming up with the correct number. I'm going to ask to pull 2013-195. I just have an issue with, a previous resolution. So I need to have some questions answered by the engineer and the contractor.
Good looking out, Mr. Mayor. Good for you.
And then as far as resolution 2013-204, it was discussed in closed session, and the council consensus is to appoint Patrick Tansey to the laborer entry position to the DPW. So can I ask for a consent agenda from 2013-191 through 2013-194, 2013-196 through 2013-204? So, do I have a second?
Second.
Roll.
Councilman Henwood.
Yes.
Councilman Doran.
Yes.
Councilman Mandel.
Yes.
Councilman Jordan.
Yes.
And Councilman Bartelli.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Any old business? New business? Phil, you have anything?
Mayor, I can address one of the topics that was raised during the public session. If this would be an appropriate time.
That's fine.
The one item involving the North Bergen Zoning Board of Adjustment involved Palisade Medical Facility and their application for a variance to allow them to build a heliport as part of their level 2 designation as a trauma center in this area. It requires that they have the capability of landing a helicopter. That helicopter is going to land on the ground, and as a result, I believe it resulted in the loss of approximately 100 parking spaces. I believe this subject was brought to our attention several months ago, where they had worked out a temporary parking arrangement with City Place to allow their employees to park at the City Place parking deck, and then they are then transported to the medical facility. At that time, I think collectively we discussed it, we were made aware of it. We felt that the facility was an inherently beneficial use for the entire community, and the use of those spaces on a temporary basis was, acceptable, I thought, in the opinion of the governing body. That has now turned into a resolution adopted by the North Bergen Zoning Board of Adjustment. The resolution is quite comprehensive. It outlines precisely what the applicant was seeking. One of the items they were seeking was, in fact, the parking variance. The resolution identifies a license agreement they worked out with the owners of City Place to allow them to use 100 spaces. That arrangement is on a temporary basis. If an objection is raised, they would have to terminate that arrangement, I think, on 90 days' notice. I did call the attorney for the Board of Adjustment in North Bergen to discuss this subject with him about the concept of one municipality satisfying the parking obligation in another municipality. And we went over the resolution, and he pointed out that that arrangement was temporary. If an objection was raised, that would be certainly subject that could be revisited, and that parking arrangement could be terminated. He indicated that, at least as best he could tell, that the Board of Adjustment would have granted the variances for the parking spaces without temporary parking. But certainly the resolution makes it clear that there is a mechanism. If for example, that parking arrangement was deemed to be not acceptable, I guess particularly to the Borough of Edgewater. I've also reached out to the owner of City Place to determine whether or not whether that parking area is in fact utilized. There apparently are 100 parking spaces at the facility of City Place, and the representations have been made that that parking is not utilized, that it is available, and just this time just sitting there vacant. So the question comes up is whether or not the borough has an objection to allowing a medical facility in one community use parking spaces in our community to help facilitate their particular situation was to allow them to continue to meet their certification for a level 2 trauma center to provide for a helicopter landing pad. So we could look into it a little bit more to sort of make sure that there is adequate parking at the City Place facility that is not utilized, or whether we can discuss whether anybody feels that that's objectionable. Certainly, if those spaces were taken away for other users of that space, it would obviously be a different consideration. But if they're vacant and we can accommodate the hospital, it's something we may want to consider. It's not new information. I mean, it's
But at no time is it permanent.
At no time is it permanent. The resolution makes it very clear that this is a temporary situations that could be, and I have a copy of the license agreement, and it clearly sets forth that it is subject to revocation on notice to the hospital. So, one way to look at it is the hospital was prepared to grant the variance for 100 spaces. However, at the same time, the hospital said we have been able to locate alternate parking off-site that could be made available for their employees, and so the.
So I guess that's the question, what would trigger the determination that, quite frankly, it's going to be the development of that area and the need for those spots, so I mean, it's going to go away.
Yeah, it could go away. I mean, we may want to, follow up on that to.
I'm not asking for anything, I mean, just logically, it's not going to stay around as people.
Right,
use those
no,
spots.
right, if it impacted that facility, yeah, that.
So we can help them out for a little bit, let's.
Yeah, it hasn't changed in the sense that it clearly is, the use of those spaces is on a temporary basis, there's no question about it. So we could follow up and make sure that those spaces are in fact available, that they're not used, and does anybody check the hospital utilizing those spaces?
No, not at all. Matter of fact, the parking lot, if I recall correctly, the entrance to the
That has also been made known to me, that has been blocked, that entire parking facility has not been utilized. Is that the point you're making?
I've never seen it open up until.
It's open.
Yeah.
Now,
And
it's
now
always
it's
been
all
blocked.
right.
It is
So what are
blocked.
they gonna do long term to get those spots back there?
It's always been
They're
blocked.
building a garage.
Always.
I don't know what they're gonna do.
There's a change.
It's,
There is not.
The original temporary permit, that's
There is not.
what that was for.
Right.
Because the new building, the building will have the
He's talking about
part,
where they store
but the
stuff.
helipad is what triggered
Right.
the issue with the permanency, so to speak.
But obviously, the hospital knows they're gonna have to, that this is temporary, they're gonna have to. do
They will have to locate alternative parking if it becomes an issue for the parking facility. But it seems, the way it seems to us at this moment is no different than when we first addressed this several months ago, that there is a facility in the borough of Edgewater that does have parking that is not utilized. There is a hospital in an adjacent municipality that would like to utilize that unused parking spaces so that they can meet the requirements for them to be certified as a trauma center. And that, if you look at it collectively, might be something that's beneficial to everyone, because providing emergency medical care to everybody
That-
is.
It's a no-brainer. It's a
And they have
no-brainer.
good galas.
So, I mean, it's
That's
just
good
it's
gas.
a different way to look at it.
And again, and that parking garage, and I repeat, has been closed for years. And only now has it been opened, and it just hasn't been utilized.
And I think we will get that verification on that, to make sure that that parking facility has been closed for a long, long period of time. Those spaces that were constructed have not been used, it has recently been opened, but the area where the hospital is leasing, again, is not used. Those spaces are not used, and it seems maybe a logical approach to allow a hospital to continue to function in a way that is really beneficial to everybody in the area, even though the hospital is
I
prosperous.
can't let for life me see any harm in it.
No.
I mean, let's do for the greater good,
Yeah.
like right.
As a matter of fact, there's something very comical about that, and this is why I pay attention to it all the time, every time I'm in a city place. There's a sign that says, luxury parking spots for sale, and it cracks me up. And I call the realtor like once or twice a week, just to get a definition from him of what luxury parking spots are really mean.
And he
So I
said your
know for a
car, he
fact
said
it's
your
a-
car would be eligible.
Not my car, I'll tell you that much. I'm just asking if they're gonna have like a nice rope around it or something like that. So I bust his chops once or twice a week. So I know for sure that it's been closed.
Thank you.
It's not there, it's in the garage.
No.
Okay, on September 21st, will be the, let's see, with the International Coastal Cleanup. We participated last year, we had a great turnout. So what we'd be asking to do in Edgewater, the low tide is 11:15 a.m. So on September 21st, around 11 o'clock, we'll be getting together to,
Mr. Mayor, can you push that low tide back a little bit so we could get it over with earlier?
well, you can show up right there if you'd like.
That was a great program last year, we should look forward to doing it.
Do we have a location there?
You know what I was thinking, I checked